It is great to see everyone, and my name is Rob Reed. I'm with the Pennsylvania Office of Attorney General, and it seems like I've been in this spot before, maybe a year ago. So it's great to be here for the Peace Islands Institute Public Heroes Appreciation Dinner. The theme here this year is Finding Common Ground, and we have people who are phenomenal human beings who are going to be receiving awards today for their service, their public service. So it is very exciting to be here and to be witness to all of this. What I think we should do is, before any remarks, I think it makes sense to, if we ask everyone to please rise for the presentation of the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through their was fought, o'er ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and rockets and flame, with a bursting in air, gave through in night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of their brave?
Thank you. You may all be seated. And I just wanted you to know that in charge of that troop was Corporal Brian Coyle of the Philadelphia Police Department, and that was the Philadelphia Police Department's Explorers. It's a group of young people who are interested in pursuing a career in law enforcement. So they pursued this effort to participate in tonight's festivities, so that was great. And I also want to thank our great pianist who recently had a leg injury, but I guess she didn't have to use the left leg on the left pedal. It's Arifa Kondova, and I apologize if I've just done a disservice to that. And I also want to thank, and I will say that this is Saeed Salmanlar's wife, and who I have actually don't think I have met, but it is so nice. What a beautiful voice you have. So what a beautiful duet. And so it's Bushra Salmanlar. Thank you very much. So understanding that we are here for a Public Heroes celebration and appreciation, I just want, in finding common ground, just a few words about Peace Islands. I have known and been working with and collaborating with Peace Islands for over a decade. Hard to believe, over a decade. And I actually met them through a coalition that we put together. It was a multicultural coalition. Shukri Kordid and Marwan Kredi are here, and they were involved in that, the beginning of that in 2010. And several years later, I met the folks from Peace Islands, and they are such nice and great people. I will tell you that soon after meeting them, they agreed to host, we would have quarterly meetings, and they would agree to host the meetings at their offices. And, and I see, there he is. They would make these lovely, delicious feasts for us. So it was really fantastic. And I think especially now to have an organization like Peace Islands, which is all about dialogue. It's all about collaboration, bringing people together. The words that I think of, and that I even looked up, because actually I finally read one of these programs, but is hospitality, friendship, kindness, diversity, collaboration, and peace and love. And that is what Peace Islands is all about. And there was a song in 1966 that was, for those of you who are maybe a little older than some others, what the world needs now is love, sweet love, and this is what Peace Islands speaks about. So also you can read all about Peace Islands. They have a website. It's probably somewhere in your packet there. So I think what we're going to do is, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a video. Is that correct? Okay.
Are often criticized, and that's fair.
Public Heroes Appreciation Award, Peace Islands Institute, Pennsylvania, presented to Jacqueline Romero, U.S. Attorney, Eastern District of Pennsylvania, in recognition of your outstanding service.
Amazing! You should have some new music. If I can sing, I will sing for you. Please welcome Tanya L. Jeter.
I'm so thankful to be here. Marwan, thanks for living the vision of Peace Islands, Philadelphia, for truly being a public hero.
Philadelphia, especially in Philadelphia, because of what's happening.
COVID, whatever. We spent 75 straight days in the basement of our building, just trying to protect the citizens of Philadelphia.
So because of those life experiences, that gave me the opportunities that I have today.
Unity and partnership to work against hate by co-founding the Pennsylvania Asian Pacific American Jewish Alliance.
As the first ever female immigrant to be an executive director of any Pennsylvania governor's advisory commissions. People don't see those years when I work on 4 part-time jobs at the same time.
First of all, I think we should, another round of applause for Peace Island. And this man right here. Heard from 6 heroes. We just heard from Stephanie's son, William Slayton, Dennis Morales, Marwan Creedy, Tanya Jeter, and Jacqueline Romero. And when you think of their qualities, the intelligence, the perseverance, the resilience, the passion, and I would say the empathy that each one of them feels and has exhibited in their work has made us in this room tonight stronger.
I wouldn't call that an instant replay. But anyway, so I do want you to know that that is not the same suit that I'm wearing tonight. But it may be the same tie. So, okay. So let me just say a couple of things. What we're going to do is we're going to have our first award and our keynote speaker, very special person, in a few minutes. And then we're going to have dinner. And then we're going to have the other awards after dinner. So, and also I just should let you know, in case there's a reason that you might want to take off, their restrooms are right around the center area here. So that's, I think, all I was supposed to tell you about. So, all right, and I think we have yet another video, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So here we are. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce, first of all, I'd like to introduce Ekrem Cetinkaya, who is a board member with Peace Islands, and he has a very, very special history. He's a resident physician at Jefferson Einstein Montgomery, and he is certainly a very important and valued member of Peace Islands. He has a profound commitment to education, mentorship, community empowerment, and his journey has reflected an unwavering dedication to academic excellence and social growth within the community. So please welcome Ekrem Cetinkaya.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pleasure that I welcome you to the 2024 Annual Public Heroes Appreciation Dinner on behalf of Peace Islands Institute, Pennsylvania. Thank you all for taking the time to join us this evening. My name is Ekrem Cetinkaya, and I proudly serve as a board member of Peace Islands Institute. It is truly an honor to stand here in the presence of such distinguished and honorable guests. Peace Islands Institute has hosted this annual dinner to recognize and appreciate the amazing individuals who work tirelessly to build and improve our community. Tonight's theme, Nostra Aitate, and I had to listen to that multiple times on YouTube just to see how I say it, in our time, is about finding common ground and understanding. It reflects the spirit of unity and shared humanity that guides us, our gathering here tonight. It is a theme that calls on us to recognize the interconnectedness and to celebrate the bridges we build together across differences of background, belief, and experience. As we honor the heroes among us, we are reminded of the profound impact that finding common ground can have. The public servants we celebrate tonight embody the values of courage, empathy, and commitment to the greater good. Through their work, they demonstrate that when we focus on what unites us rather than what divides us, we can achieve extraordinary things. This theme resonates deeply with the words of Pope Paul VI, who said, "If you want peace, work for justice." Justice and peace require mutual understanding and a commitment to serve not just our individual communities, but the shared community of humanity. Our heroes this evening have answered that call. They have dedicated their lives to fostering safety, well-being, and harmony in the communities they serve. They remind us that public service is not merely a profession, but a vocation, a mission to bring people together, solve shared challenges, and create a foundation for understanding and progress. At Peace Islands Institute, we strive to embody this mission. Since our founding, we have worked to create spaces where a dialogue and collaboration can flourish, and where people from diverse walks of life can come together to learn, grow, and build a shared vision for a better future. Because when we seek to understand one another, we lay the groundwork for enduring unity and justice. And if there's anything this past year and years have shown us, we need unity and justice now more than ever. As Mahatma Gandhi once said, our ability to reach unity in diversity will be the beauty and the test of our civilization. By embracing our differences and finding common ground, we can unlock the potential to create a stronger, more unified communities. Tonight, we honor heroes who have lived out this vision. They remind us that while finding common ground takes incredible effort and courage, it reaps the rewards of safer communities, stronger bonds, and a more just society. And it is all worth it. Before we move forward with our award ceremony, I want to take a moment to acknowledge the individuals who exemplify the spirit of service and understanding. First and foremost, our Executive Director, Mr. Said Salmanullah, whose tirelessly dedication to building bridges within our communities is evident in tonight's program. His ability to connect people and create opportunities for dialogue is truly inspiring. Thank you, Saeed, for your leadership and vision. Our Master of Ceremonies for the past 3 years, Mr. Rob Reed, the Executive Deputy Attorney. Our award recipients who have gathered for here tonight. And lastly, and most importantly, the amazing volunteers who made this night possible. Thank you all very much. As we celebrate our heroes tonight, let us carry the message of Nostra Aitate with us, that in our time, we all have a role to play in fostering understanding, building bridges, and working together for the common good. Although our communities here and abroad have endured much pain and suffering, together we can work to create a world where peace, justice, and unity are more than ideals, they are our shared values. Thank you all. Enjoy the evening.
So, one of the words that did come up in your remarks, and I thank you for them, was the word justice. And I have to tell you that it is a great privilege and honor for me to speak about someone who at one point, I guess 22 years ago, may have worked for me. But now I work for her. And she is Michelle Henry, and she is the Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And, you know, she has had an extraordinary career, and she's all about doing justice. She's all about the rule of law. She's all about what's right. And that's what the best we can say about public officials who have so much power, which frankly we do. And we have lots of people from law enforcement here, lots of people who have very important positions. And so it's so important that we handle those responsibilities well. But the thing that makes Michelle, and in knowing her for 22 years, is that she's so humble. She always speaks about everyone else's contribution. And I've been now in the AG's office for close to 8 years, and always in speaking to the office, never once speaks about what she does, always thanking people profusely for what they do. And it really makes a big difference. Can you imagine running an office of 900 plus people? You know, I can't. Actually, that's a big job. And, you know, she has to handle and juggle so many different things. I mean, she was first assistant for a whole bunch of years under Josh Shapiro. And then when he left, he asked her to be the Attorney General. And I will say that my understanding is, I didn't know this till yesterday, that she was confirmed unanimously by the Pennsylvania Senate. Nothing has ever been confirmed unanimously by the Pennsylvania Senate. So that speaks so much about her. And the other thing about Michelle, and Michelle was an ADA, Assistant District Attorney. She became the first assistant, and she did a lot of work in sex crimes and child predator stuff, and which is incredibly hard work, such hard work. And then the district attorney stepped on to become a judge, and Michelle actually was appointed as the district attorney. And I got to be there for her swearing in then. And she decided not to run for office, and she decided to not run for office to continue as Attorney General. But because she is the consummate public servant. She wants to do the work. She doesn't want the accolades. She's not asking for the publicity. She just wants to do the work, and she wants to do it well. So, you know, I could go on, as she knows I can, but I will just say that these are some words that I think about when I think of Michelle. Tenacity, brilliance, warmth, kindness, and compassion. And it's really summed up when you see her smile. Now, she won't smile tonight. But, you know, you can scroll on the Attorney General's website and you can see her photo. Or maybe you can see it right there. Oh my God. And I like that. So that's Michelle Henry. And it is such a privilege and honor, as I say, to be able to introduce the Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Michelle Henry. Thank you.
I'll start my remarks as I always do, and I'll move the mic down a bit. Well, first of all, thank you, Rob, for the wonderful and kind remarks. I've known Rob a long, long time. And when they told me that he was introducing me, I'll admit I was a little nervous. And I said, well, you know, do we know what he's going to say? And somebody said, well, I'll get it. And I said, don't bother, because it'll be unscripted and wonderful and beautiful. And when I think about Rob Reed, and I met him when I was a prosecutor in Bucks County, and he was working at the U.S. Attorney's Office. And, you know, I never would think that I worked for Rob, and I don't think Rob works for me. I think of us as colleagues and friends, because that's what he is to me. So thank you, Rob, for your kind remarks and for the work you do every day. I have to say, it's a huge honor to be here today and to accept this award from the Institute. Not only to accept it from the Institute, but to be up here with the other people that are getting awards. It's really just humbling to me. You know, when we talk about sort of seeing different perspectives and understanding and finding common ground, I can't think of anything that is more important generally, and especially at these times. If we really want to serve the public, if we want to make things better, we have to do this. It's so critical and it's so important. And what's great is this institute recognizes that and really makes an effort to do that. And I think that's so important. And, you know, I think in the Attorney General's office, I want to say that we endeavor to do that every day in a different way. We really do. And I don't know about all of you, and I'll apologize in advance if I'm insulting anybody, but candidly, when I started at the AG's office 8 years ago, I came aboard as Josh Shapiro's first deputy. I was in Bucks County as a prosecutor and loving what I do, and it was incredibly fulfilling, and I had this wonderful opportunity to join the AG's office and become his first deputy, but I didn't really know everything the AG's office did. And so I think to understand why I say we endeavor to do that every day, you have to understand a little bit about what we do, because it's like, well, how and why? So I'm going to just take a minute and explain a little bit about the AG's office. As Rob said, we have over 1,000 employees, from prosecutors to attorneys to agents to support staff to analysts to investigators. And we have 14 different offices throughout this Commonwealth. And we work every single day to tackle some of the biggest problems in Pennsylvania. And we collaborate and partner with so many different agencies. And when you think about the Attorney General's office, there really is 3 different legal divisions. And a lot of you probably know the criminal division, because that's our largest division, and that's probably the most visible division. We do, in that criminal division, we do drug trafficking, child predator, organized crime. We do public corruption, insurance fraud, Medicaid fraud, forfeitures, appeals, computer forensics. So that division does a lot of our criminal work, and is our biggest one. But we also have our public protection division, and I love football, so when I think about it, I think of our public protection division as our offense. So that is the division that really does exactly what the word says, public protection. We protect the people, the citizens of Pennsylvania. And we do that by bringing active litigation often. So that is a division that really is going out into the public and bringing active litigation. So one of our biggest sections in there is our Bureau of Consumer Protection. So we really work to protect the citizens from scams. We have had unbelievable results. As you know, these are very prevalent. They're so much more sophisticated. AI has made them unbelievable in the ability to detect. You know, now they used to be the calls that would say, oh, your grandson's been in a car accident, and send money, right? And those were hard. But now it's your grandson's voice on the other end. So we have had to become much more sophisticated. And I'm proud to say that just last year, we saved consumers more than $24 million through our efforts to get them. And really what we've been able to do is if people contact us right away, that division has been able to reach out and sometimes stop that. As you all know, I'm sure, a lot of people are really embarrassed. So they don't call anybody and they don't tell us about it. And sometimes it's too late, but if they get us, we can often really do good work to get their money back. We also have our healthcare section, and our healthcare section really works to mediate issues. And it's primarily billing. A lot of people don't know what to do. They're being told that their insurance doesn't pay for something, so we're often able to reach out and work with insurance companies. You know, we had a case not too long ago where somebody really needed surgery, and the insurance company and the surgeon said, well, it's paid for, but first you have to pay $30,000 up front. Like, who has $30,000? So our office got involved to say, this is ridiculous. Like, this is something that should be covered, and it isn't. So oftentimes we're able to intervene there. We have our civil rights section, which I'm proud to say the leader of that, Corbett Anderson, is here with me tonight and does fantastic work really to fight for people when there's been some kind of injustice. And again, it's a lot about intervention. It's a lot about reaching out and you know, being able to say, we're the Attorney General's office, we're not going to stand for this. So that's our second division, and our third division is the civil law division, and I consider this our defense, so to speak. So the civil law division is made up of a group of attorneys and investigators, and we defend the Commonwealth. So if anybody sues one of the agencies for a variety of things, whether it be PennDOT or Department of State, and this is our division that I'm really proud of. They worked very, very hard this election, but certainly in the last election in 2020, to ensure a fair and free election. And when there was litigation that was being brought by a variety of people, they went into court, and our record that year was 43-0, because this civil division really took the cases up to the United States Supreme Court and the PA Supreme Court on a lot of frivolous things that came through. So we were really proud of the work that they did. And I just want to say I really understand how important it is, and I think we all do, but it's something that we can lose sight of, especially in these times, of the need and the ability to appreciate and understand, as Rob said, the common ground, the places where we can see eye to eye, when we can find something, and we have to take the time to look at the other side's perspective and to understand what it is that is the concern in order for us to move forward and reach a goal. So it's about compromise, right? It's about understanding the perspective. And I can tell you, that seems so simple, but sometimes it isn't. I learned this a long, long time ago. As Rob said, when I was an assistant district attorney, I did a lot of domestic violence and child abuse cases. And one of the pieces of that, one of the pieces of handling domestic violence cases is being able to present a case in court with a victim. And as all of you know, sometimes that's incredibly difficult. And I remember as a young assistant DA, I would go down to the preliminary hearing or court, and I would meet with the victim, and I would say, okay, you know, we're here to present this case, and I need you to testify, and I need you to tell the truth and tell the court what happened that night when this incident happened. So I'm just going to have you take the stand, and we're going to go through it. And inevitably, they would say, no, thank you. And I would say, well, this is what we need to do. I mean, you're here, you gave a police report, we need to get consequences, I need you to take that witness stand and testify. And again, they would say, I'm not doing that. And it took me a little bit to understand that the first thing I needed to do was understand their side of it. What was it that made them not want to take the witness stand? And sometimes it was fear, right? Retaliation. Sometimes it's not fear or retaliation, but where am I going to live? How am I going to support myself? This is the person that is, the breadwinner of the family. And sometimes it was, but I love him. He did this. It's horrible. But I don't want him to go to jail. And if I knew that, I learned quickly if I could appreciate that and understand the concerns, we could talk about it and we could get there and we could be able to reach a common ground where we could achieve some sort of justice and reach some sort of ability to protect this individual and at the same time make them feel comfortable. But if I didn't have their perspective on what it was, that was never ever going to be possible. And I have to say, understanding that and learning that has served me well throughout my time at the AG's office. So I could give countless examples. I promise you I won't, because I appreciate that I'm the only thing standing between you and dinner. But I have to say, just real quick, I mean, one example is when I joined the AG's office, and Attorney General Shapiro and I were beginning to say, how can we tackle the opioid epidemic? I mean, we're losing 14 people a day in Pennsylvania due to overdose. What can we do about it, right? And one of the first things that we said was, obviously the criminal law division is our biggest division, and we knew we couldn't arrest our way out of it, right? And I learned that as an assistant district attorney, going through countless cases where individuals will get arrested for a drug charge, they go before the court, they get sentenced, and it was like a revolving door. In short order, they would be back before the court. And there was never talk of treatment. There was never talk of a helping hand. There was never talk of addressing the real issue. And so we understood, of course, that treatment was a key piece of it. We weren't going to arrest our way out of it, but the issue was access to treatment. What were we going to do? And we talked to a lot of individuals that had struggled with addiction. And as a result of that, we came up with our law enforcement treatment initiative. And it's really all about access. So it's in over 30 counties now in Pennsylvania. And what it does is it teams up the county, it teams up law enforcement. So police officers and police departments are really being educated about substance abuse disorder and getting individuals into treatment instead of into jail, and how we can stop this cycle. And so I have gone throughout the state and gone to all these different counties. And when I stand up to announce this program in these counties, with me is the district attorney. With me is the chiefs of police in that county. With me is the drug treatment individuals. And with me is a recovering addict who can talk about what is needed and why this is so important and why access to treatment is needed. And we were really proud that that was one way. We couldn't have got there, though, if we hadn't really heard the other side, if we hadn't understood what the individuals that were struggling with substance abuse disorder said that they needed. Said that because they were, when they think of police, they think getting locked up and going to jail. When police think of them, they think of locking them up. Not always, but sometimes. And this broke those barriers down so that we could start to change that dynamic and make a difference. And when we talk about the opioid epidemic, I mean, that was one piece of it. And I'm saying these examples because these are what I consider to be success stories about appreciating the other side, the other perspective, and how we can, when we do that, build successes. And so another piece of the opioid epidemic, of course, was the drug companies, the manufacturers, the distributors who put the poison on the street, who lied to us about what it was and how addictive it was. And shouldn't they pay? As we lose 14 people a day in Pennsylvania, shouldn't there be some of their resources, the money that they made, coming back to our states? And so I'm really proud that Pennsylvania was one of the leaders in a national coalition to go after the drug companies, to go after Purdue, and to go after the distributors. And we did that. And we went after them. But a piece of that, And I say this for this room because I think you will all appreciate that. That was the goal. It was an easy goal. These people should pay. We all agreed with that. We all thought that was true. And they knew it too. They knew what they had done. But when you talk about this great nation and all the states, and you talk about diverse views and perspectives, think about the states. Just if you go from another state, you know, North Dakota doesn't think the same way as Pennsylvania, and Florida doesn't think the same way as California, right? And so we led that coalition where we had to bring all these states together and do this together as a united front. And I'll be candid with you, the team at the AG's office was fantastic. As I said, we were a leader. We spent so much time, so many meetings, countless hours, so much resource. And you know what we spent a lot of that on? Fighting with other states, right? So we're trying to get the other states. You know, there was an argument about what the litigation tactic should be, what the strategy should be, who should divide the resources, and maybe most importantly, how do we divvy up? So at some point, we all came together and we said, this is crazy. We have to share each other's perspectives. We have to compromise. We have to come together because it is us versus them on this. And that took a lot. But we said, let's hear them out. Let's hear why Rhode Island thinks they should get more money, even though they're smaller, right? And different perspectives. And I have to say, you know, a lot of states hired outside counsel to do this work. Pennsylvania didn't, so it was all our own attorneys. And as a result of what we were able to do, we were able to secure more than $26 billion from the distributors and $1 billion to Pennsylvania. And all of that money was solely put aside to address what had happened with the opioid epidemic. Not to pave the potholes in Pennsylvania, which they do need, but that money is not for that. We were really proud of that. And that would have never happened if we didn't take a moment to really say, let's hear each other out. Let's get there. Let's figure out this system that we can all agree on so we can really go after what we need to. And that's a point, and I could tell you countless stories. I'll tell you one more and then I promise I'll let you eat. But these are all things that when I think about finding common ground and listening to each other and just taking a moment, I think these successes show that. And that's what this institute is about. And I know that's what the other people that are getting these awards understand, and I know all of you do too. One of the things, of course, that was incredibly troubling to me as AG is the gun violence and the impact it's having on young kids. And so, you know, we thought a lot about that, and we did, of course, our criminal division is out there. And look, we're going after the people that do the straw purchasers. Right, the individuals who have no record that can legally buy a gun, and they buy that gun and then they hand it to a felon, and it shows up at a crime scene. That's not okay. And so we're going after them. But at the same time, we recognize that we really need to understand what's happening to kids out there, our teenagers. And so I went on a tour, and I went to high schools throughout Pennsylvania, and I said, I just want to meet with the kids. I'm not going to say anything. I want to listen to them. I want to hear from them the impact that gun violence has had on them, their mental health. These kids deal with it every single day. And I'll tell you what, first of all, there are future leaders, and they had incredible insight. They were happy to be finally heard. They had some great ideas. They said these things will make us feel better. These things will make a difference. And so again, I think it was so important to hear their perspective. The truth. I don't think that was me. Robert? I don't know. But anyway, my point being that I think this piece of it, of especially in these times, of listening to each other, understanding the other side's perspective, even if we don't agree to it, and trying to find the common ground so that we can advance, we can make the community better, is so critical and so important. I just can't say how much this award means to me, and being invited here tonight to talk with you. I think the message and the goal of what this institute is doing is so important, so thank you so much.
You know, power is being able to tell the Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania she can't go back to her seat. Pretty good. So I am going to ask Saeed Selmanlar to come up for a moment because we have a presentation. Well, so I will begin. The first thing is that each of the awardees are going to receive a congressional proclamation, which is very nice. I mean, look at this thing. It's really nice. You know, you really could put this up on the wall. From Congressman Brendan Boyle, and I'm going to read this once. The others, well, they're all special. But I will tell you, Congressional Proclamation, 118th Congress, Second Session, House of Representatives. In honor and recognition of Ms. Michelle Henry's lifelong dedication to public service, on behalf of the United States House of Representatives, Congressman Brendan F. Boyle is proud to honor and recognize Pennsylvania's Attorney General, Michelle A. Henry's lifelong dedication to public service. Whereas Attorney General Henry was raised in Westmoreland County, alumna from Greensburg, Salem Public Schools, rose from an intern in the Westmoreland County District Attorney's Office to now serving as the Chief Law Enforcement Officer for the Commonwealth. And whereas, before serving as First Deputy Attorney General, Michelle dedicated over 20 years of her career to the Bucks County District Attorney's Office, taking on critical jobs, including Chief of Major Crimes, Chief of Child Abuse, and First Assistant. Michelle was appointed Bucks County District Attorney with a bipartisan vote in 2008. And colleagues credit Michelle for taking on the toughest cases and leading by example. And whereas First Deputy Attorney General Henry oversaw all the office's legal matters, including criminal, civil, and public protection cases, Henry is recognized for her tireless work safeguarding the office's mission to protect and serve Pennsylvanians as the legal advocate for the Commonwealth. And now therefore, Congressman Brendan F. Boyle, I can't do this totally seriously, I'm sorry. Brendan F. Boyle, on behalf of the United States House of Representatives, is proud to honor and recognize Attorney General Michelle A. Henry's lifelong commitment to public service. Whoa, I've got the wrong one. This is what was making the noise before. Okay, I'm back here. So, and then there's the Peace Islands Public Heroes Appreciation Award. And it says, Peace Islands Institute of Pennsylvania, presented to Michelle A. Henry, Attorney General, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, in recognition of your outstanding service. Okay. Can we ask, no? Not even a little bit?
Come on, Mom. Come on.
No? All right, maybe later.
She's stubborn.
Okay, all right. Well, so there you go.
Let's take a picture of you.
Okay, we get to take a picture?
Thank you.
Do I get to take a picture? All right, so thank you. That was great. So I guess I get to say, I think, dinner is served? That was a kind of a question. Dinner is served? Dinner is served. Of course I knew dinner was served. Now, how is dinner going to be served? Are we going to start moving with tables? Why don't we start with the tables closest to the food, and we'll just kind of, you know, if you're really starving, just make a beeline to the front. All right, enjoy your meal. Thank you. So hi everybody, I hope you've enjoyed your dinner, but you can keep feasting. First of all, I have to say on behalf of me, I thank those of you who ate particularly, I think it was a German chocolate cake, because had you not eaten it, I would have. So it was gone by the time I get there. Thank you, thank you, thank you on behalf of me. So just a few announcements before we get back to the awards. I want to, first of all, so this doesn't happen, an event like this doesn't happen because of nothing. It's because people are very supportive financially and by volunteering and things like that. And so we have a number of sponsors that I'd like to recognize. And what I'd like to do is, there are two sponsors where we don't have a representative here, but I'd just like to say first, Penn Medicine, and second, the Yogo Factory. And then we have Dendon Financial, and Sam Dendon is here. Can he stand? Thank you. Thank you. And then Ultimate Home Design, Ekrem Octagon. Yes, thank you. And Fit Leggy, Tassina Jar. There you go. Thank you. So thank you to all of them again. These are not easily, these, again, you wouldn't have this if you didn't have the folks who are helping. And I have to just also say, this is not scripted, but so Ghazi Az7 is here with his beautiful daughter, wherever she is. She's 12 now. There she is. She's way back there. And he was the first person from Peace Islands I met, back whenever it was. And it was a long time ago, but it's so great to see you. I saw your daughter when she was, again, this big. Yeah, okay. But she's now 12. I can't believe it. And she's going to be like a Rhodes Scholar. She's going to go on to do great. Okay. So, also, I think I might have been a little late on this. So I was supposed to tell you on the back of this is the QR code. And you know why this is really helpful? Because it will tell you what's on the menu tonight. So, okay, I thought that was funny. All right, you can also, there's also this other thing, the cultural exchange trips. And so you can consider doing that. And I'm really not, it's funny, these are like, I'm doing a commercial, it's kind of hilarious. And then there's also, let's see, can I do this in my position? Well, on behalf of Peace Islands, I would say that if you would like to make a donation, you go on this QR code, and that's the way to do it. And this way, you help so that these things can be repeated year after year. So that's very important. And also, for more information, you know, you can also speak to Vanya Womack. She does social media for Peace Islands. And again, it's, I'm not sure I really have the, I'll get the right www thing, but it says at Peace Islands PA. So Anyway, and just remember that this month, I think, is Giving Tuesday week. I'm really screwing this up, but that's okay. Again, they don't pay me. I'm not allowed to do this, I'm a public official, so okay. All right, the other thing I wanted to do, so anyway, I hope you're still eating and you're not paying attention. So we have some awardees, award recipients from the past. I just like if they would just stand. Stephanie's son, there you go. She received last year. Tanya Jeter from the FBI, wherever she is, there she is. She brought 35,000 people here last year. And as a matter of fact, they have just gotten a place in the hotel. They've never left. Randy Duque with Philadelphia Commission on Human Relations. And last but not least, Marwan Creedy. And I did go with Randy and Marwan. We were in Germany, and we had kind of a cultural exchange, which was really fascinating. All right, so let's see. And then the other thing I just want to say that in the past month or so, actually about 6 weeks ago, Fethullah Gulen passed away, died. On October 20th, and I wanted to just say a few words about him because his work was very important, and really he was kind of a founder and certainly a major, reason that Peace Islands Institute is even here and doing the work here in the United States and elsewhere, Turkey. And so Fethullah Gulen was an Islamic scholar, preacher, and social advocate whose decades-long commitment to education, altruistic community service, and interfaith harmony has inspired millions in Turkey and worldwide. Described as one of the world's most influential Muslim figures, Gulen has reinterpreted aspects of Islamic tradition to meet the needs of contemporary Muslims. He has dedicated his life to interfaith and intercultural dialogue, community service, and providing access to quality education. He was the first influential Muslim public figure to condemn the 9/11 attacks publicly and express sympathy for the American people. In 2011, he was honored with the Peace Award from the New York-based East-West Institute. And in 2008, he was among top 100 in Foreign Policy and Prospect magazine's joint poll of the top 100 public intellectuals. In 2013, Time magazine named him one of the 100 most influential people, and he received the Manhai Peace Prize from South Korea that same year. In 2015, the Martin Luther King International Chapel at Morehouse College in Atlanta awarded him the Gandhi King Ikeda Peace Award for his lifelong dedication to peace. Obviously, he got a lot of awards because he had a huge impact on so many people, not just, again, in Turkey, but worldwide. And I know, speaking to members of the Peace Islands Institute, beginning with Ghazi, and that he had a huge influence on their career paths, the work that they do, and that's why we're here today, in part. So I just want to I just wanted to bring his memory and his work to everyone here. And, he had envisioned the idea of creating safe havens or spaces where individuals can come together in mutual respect and understanding and spread that goodness gradually all over the world. And, that's kind of what we're doing, finding common ground and understanding, coming together in collaboration. So that is Fethullah Gulen. All right. So with that, I would like to return to the awards presentation. And the way it's going to work is I am going to ask a person, I'm going to name the award recipient. I'm making this up right now, just so you know. I'm going to name the award recipient, but I'm not going to say anything, and you'll be happy that I'm not saying anything. But I am going to ask somebody to come up who I will name, who will come up and they will speak on behalf of the person who is receiving the award, and then we shall have the award presentation. How about that? Okay, so beautiful, beautiful. Seamless, seamless, seamless. Okay, so we are going to first recognize Sarun Chan, and I'm going to ask Bunrath Math, who is on the Philadelphia Commission on Human Relations.
Thank you, Rob. Everyone can see me? A little short. I was promised there would be a booster chair here, but I don't see it. It's okay. Somebody told me to get it from the Facebook market. Do you think I'm going to use my credit card on Facebook market to get a booster chair? All right. Philadelphia Commission on Human Relations are well represented here. We got my boss, Executive Director, Kia, and Deputy Director, Randy Duque, and my colleague and lead representative, Jarreau Thomas and David Albert are well represented. Thank you. It is very cold outside, but the story will get warmer because we are here for a reason. And as you read the story in here, our honorees here, and what they have done and what they continue to do, it warms my heart. It just feel like I need to take my jacket off right now. It's so warm. So the story will get warmer and warmer. So I'm here to tell a story about Sarun. Chan Sarun in Cambodian sound. Who is he? Why I'm here to tell a story about him? Since anybody can come up here and tell that. I know Sarun since 1992. In the story here, Sarun mentioned that he was born from refugee parents. That's just the tip of the iceberg of his story. His parents were the survivors of the labor camp, the communists, the Khmeros, the killing field, the survivors, and they was able to escape to Thailand in the 80s, in the early 80s, 1979, early 80s, to Thailand through the minefield after 30 years of civil wars in Cambodia. So when they get to the camps and Sarun was born, they have 3 other siblings. The mom has four kids. Sarun is the last one, the youngest one. But the first one and her parents were killed by the communists in the labor camps. So she escaped from the killing field, not because for herself, but for the future of the unborn, that Sarun will become somebody. Just the shirt on her back, escaped the minefield with her husband, but Sarun's father. Through the jungle, through the bandits, 30 years of civil war. Can you imagine how many millions of mines between the borders, between Thailand and Cambodia, between the different fighting factions? So when Sarun used the word in the first paragraph, the last sentence of the first paragraph, he said it has an innate of reflective and understanding of things. He's more than that. He was born in that culture. From that womb, he felt that very consciously or unconsciously. So that's who he is, and I hope it continues to be that way. And Sarun, I'm on the board of Cambodian Association too for the past 20 years. I'm one of the guys that hired him to be our executive director because we know something about him, special about him. So he's been crisis tested, could you say that? We hired him just a few months before the pandemic hit our world. and he's this young guy. Our agency very small, serving a very large population. The Cambodian Association got a good Cambodians in there, but we serve everyone, not just the Cambodian. But the Cambodian Association started 46 years ago, just for the purpose of helping the Cambodian refugee who didn't speak any language, how to navigate the health system, go to the market, how to find a place to stay or live. So he came to Philadelphia. He was brought from the camp and dropped off in South Philly with his family. And back then in the early 80s, South Philly was economically very depressed and very diverse, and racism was there involved. And here the new family from Cambodia don't know how to navigate everything, so they suffer so much in silence. And the city that time did not have a system in place to help him. So whatever he learned from his parents, from the community, Sarun grew up witnessing it, learned from it, and he wanted to do something about it. And as you read through here, yourself here or at home, see what he have achieved and what he planned to do and what he's going to do. But he's only 39 now, so he will be around us for a long time. And I'm so honored and feel warm that I'm being among all these honorees. They're my hero. And I hope you feel the same as I am about them. And as you hear more story about all the honorees up here. And I would like to welcome Sarun to come up and introduce himself again. Sorry if I take too much of your time.
Please welcome Sarun Chan.
Okay. Greetings, everybody. My name is Sarun Chan. First and foremost, I have to acknowledge my table. I have my beautiful mother, Mali Chia, there. And I have my dad, Sarun Chan, somewhere out there in the universe. And I have my nephew, Kenji, and my nephew, Dory, and my mom's friend, Fethullah, and my friend, Sophie. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you to Peace Island Institute for this honor and the committee that helped acknowledge this for me. As Bubanrat shared, I am only 39, so I feel like my journey just started, even though I've been in the nonprofit sector for 20 years now. 20 years, I just feel like I just started. And I have to acknowledge the organization that first gave me this opportunity to be in the nonprofit sector that I fell in love with. It was not only when I was 15 years old, the Cambodian Association actually hired me for their summer youth program and gave me my first job, my first check, my first awkward boss. So that was a great memory. And the second organization that hired me after in college was Migrant Education. I don't know if anyone here is familiar with migrant education, but that was the first time I felt very connected and explored, had a better understanding of the power of youth. Even though I was only 18 years old, I was engaging other youth in middle school, in grade school, and it really brought me closer to my own community as well. I'm the type that would put my head down and just do the work. I am very sensitive to power, I am sensitive to clout chasing, I'm sensitive to ego energy, and for the last 20 years, I just wanted to make sure that I did good work for the community that helped create me, build me, and to the person that I became today. And with that said, it's awkward. I've always felt like a misfit, so being here and being honored in this early stage of 39, and I had the privilege of turning hopefully 40 next year. And I think that a lot of people in this space right now, that I heard some stories, that a lot of individuals in this space have gone through war. We don't know peace until some of us had experienced war ourselves. And something that working with youth really inspired a mantra in my own personal life is a journey of self-discovery is a journey worth taking. no matter how old we are, as I'm looking around here, war could come just like that at 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, and our lives can turn upside down. But the thing about being in this space and being among other quote-unquote heroes, which is, again, it's hard for me to say things like that, is that we're the ones who step up. We're the ones who want to amplify everyone else's voice, their visibility, their voice, their energy, their lives. Make sure that there's bridging and resources and anything and everything in between, because we all deserve it, no matter what race or ethnicity or religion or whatever we are. It's very important to amplify that, especially when it's other people who don't look like us, don't share the same faith. And when we can sit in spaces where they're not there and still voice and help amplify them, that's really true to bringing peace, because that's very important. Something that I will continue to hold on to the organization is that I used to just be called a millennial. Now I'm called an elder millennial. And my organization is old now. I'm an elder millennial. And I am the first executive director that is an elder millennial or a millennial. And I would say that for those of you who are representative of other cultural organizations or any organizations, the pipeline of leadership is real. The dedication you put into the youth and the children can lead it to other impact in your lives and the lives of your own community individually. So don't ever let that fade. Don't ever let that go away, because when you invest in your opportunity and chance in that person who may not have gone to college or may have had poor choices in the past, there's still potential there no matter what. With that said, I hope my 3 minutes are up. It's probably over 3 minutes. I want to thank everyone in this space for everything you have done. And again, our journey of self-discovery is a journey worth taking, and I'm glad that y'all put this together, and let's create good vibes. Yes, thank you.
Stay for a second. Just a comment. He's 39. And in 39 years, you've accomplished so much, but you've been through so much. But one of the amazing things is I wish I could get a transfusion of your blood, because your energy, your passion, your eloquence, your maturity is phenomenal. So on behalf of Peace Islands, we want to give you this award. It is, again, the Peace Islands Institute of Pennsylvania presents to you Sarun Chan, Cambodian Association of Greater Philadelphia, in recognition of your outstanding service. Thank you. Well, while they're coming up, I'm not going to read the entire thing. But I will tell you there's 3 wherefores and 1 now therefore. I just want you to know that that's there. And one of the things, I'll just read this, I mean, the story here is, and the life is extraordinary. On behalf of the United States House of Representatives, Congressman Brendan F. Boyle is proud to honor and recognize Sarun Chan's advocacy work around improving the quality of life for underserved communities across the city of Philadelphia.
Thank you.
Did you want to take a moment? Thank you. All right. So, moving right along. So we're now at our 3rd presentation, and it is Philadelphia Police Inspector Jarreau Thomas. And I am going to ask former Peace Islands Award winner, award recipient, I should say, Randy Duque from the Philadelphia Commission on Human Relations, to step up to the podium.
Well, I don't know exactly how I'm going to follow Boonrad and Sarun, amazing people. Burnett, I also stole all the accolades I was going to give to my team and to Kia and to my team. But like, I have to say that this year the nominees are an excellent board. And one of the other things I realized early on tonight was I should read my emails more often because I didn't realize the theme was Nostra Aetate. So I guess I'm a bad Catholic for not knowing this. But it's important because, you know, what you heard earlier is the one aspect of Pope Pius had said in terms of justice and peace. This is something that I've always sort of aspired to meld together since I've been working with the commission over 10 years ago. And since when I began, I have to say that I worked with the police department and worked with the community relations unit at the time, and it was good. But I saw it start to grow, especially with the predecessor of Chief Inspector Love Craighead, who I had the pleasure to work with extensively. And it was during the pandemic, and I saw this unit turn into a bureau. And one of the first people I saw when it expanded was Inspector Jarreau Thomas. Sitting there in the office, we met, talked, you know, basically got to know each other a little bit then. And then Altavis had her happy retirement and is now fishing in Delaware, having the time of her life. So jealous. She's learning how to play violin and all that. But anyway, back to Inspector Thomas. I think he pretty much hit the ground running once he took over, and I would see him in the community all the time, like various communities. Our job as community relations is to connect with the communities, and this is the first time I really saw this concerted effort from like top on down of like meeting people where they're at. And one story that I want to share is, it's without going into too much details, like we sit on a couple of panels together, and one panel in particular I remember involved the Asian communities. This is, you know, right coming out of the out of the pandemic, and you know there was still fear about anti-Asian hate. And I remember like his dedication to, you know, each of the members in the room of the various Asian communities of just talking about how safe they are. And it's one thing for me to say it, it's another thing to see someone in uniform, a police officer, saying that, like, you know, we're here for you. We're here to protect you. We're here to make sure that you're being served, you know, with dignity. Not only does he do this in a professional level, but I also know that he does this a lot with his fraternity. So whether it's on the clock or off the clock, he's always out there working with community, working with young people, doing what he can in his best capacity to not only create a feeling of safety, but also to serve others to the biggest capacity possible. So I want to introduce and bring up Inspector Jarreau Thomas.
Before I get started, I just want to take a moment to acknowledge the Philadelphia Police Explorers. And so Corporal Brian Coyle is in charge of the Police Explorers, and he's in the back right now videotaping me. However, I just want to publicly express to you my appreciation, because I know I've been getting on your nerves for the last 3 months. And I just want to say thank you for being patient with me as your boss. I'm truly appreciative of it, and I appreciate the work that you do with our young folks. Our young folks are police explorers. These are young people who, of their own time, of their own volition, go into the communities. They give their time, their talents, and their efforts. Some of them become police officers. Some do not. Some go on to do other things and have various successes. However, I want to let you know that I appreciate you as well. Thank you. So I'm truly honored to stand before you today to receive this recognition award from the Peace Islands Institute. This moment is incredibly meaningful to me, not just because of the honor itself, but because it reflects the collective efforts and dedication of the many individuals who have walked alongside me in this journey. First and foremost, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to the Peace Institute for this recognition. Your commitment to fostering understanding, compassion, and collaboration among diverse communities inspires me every day. Being recognized by an organization that prioritizes peace and unity resonates deeply with my values, and I appreciate that, and I support the work that you do to uphold these values. As I stand here, I'm reminded that no award and no accomplishment is achieved in isolation. This recognition is not just a reflection of my work. However, it is a testament to the relentless dedication of the people who are around me and who have contributed on this path. From my role as the inspector of the Community Relations Division, or as a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, Pi Gamma Sigma Chapter, Blue Phi, or as a member of Great Commission Church, or as a board member on Women Against Sexual Abuse, or Tailor-Made Opportunities in Germantown. I'm profoundly grateful for each of the contributions that each of these organizations are giving to me. Before I go any further, I just want to take a moment to shout out my wife for her unwavering support, your dedication, and your partnership. Thank you for keeping me motivated and lifting my spirits when I get discouraged. Thank you. My mother is also present. Thank you for your strength and your guidance. You are loved and appreciated. For the people in this room, each of us holds unique gifts, unique experiences that contribute to the well-being and growth of those around us. When we give back, we not only uplift others, but we also enrich our very own lives. Whether it's through public service, through volunteering, through mentorship, through supporting local initiatives, or simply being a friend to someone, every act of kindness adds a piece to the tapestry of what we call community, making a difference in our time. Imagine the power of a chain reaction when you take the time to help someone and that help inspires them to do the same for someone else. As the saying goes, service to others is the rent that you pay for your room here on earth. The joy and fulfillment that we receive from contributing to society is immeasurable, and they create lasting connections that strengthen our community fabric. So today, I invite each and every one of you to reflect on your own talents and how you share them with our community. What can you do today to uplift someone's spirit? How can you be the light in this world? Let's commit to taking action, finding a cause that resonates with you, lending your time, your talents, and your efforts to that cause. Together, we can transform our community into a vibrant space where everyone has an opportunity to thrive. Let's not wait for change to happen. Let's be the change. Culture for service and service to humanity. Thank you.
This is heavier than you think. I haven't worked out in a while. So we have Zinette Ergun here. She's on the board of the Peace Islands Institute. And just one word, you know, I think that everyone here knows that there have been tensions in communities all over America, including Philadelphia, between the policing community. But hearing from Inspector Thomas, you can hear how perfect he is for this position, to go into the community and to bring people together rather than separate people. So thank you for your service. Did you want to say something? So I think we want to have a few people here to come up, and this is Inspector Thomas's family and friends. This is kind of rivaling Tanya Jeter's family. And while they're coming up, I will just say that we have a congressional proclamation. Actually, I just noticed, there's a difference. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wherefores, and 1 now therefore. On behalf of the United States House of Representatives, Congressman Brendan F. Boyle is proud to honor and recognize Inspector Jarreau W. Thomas's commitment to community and his exemplary service to the city of Philadelphia. And I should just also tell you that Attorney General Henry left because she was flying out from, I guess, Philadelphia International Airport, and they said there was bad weather coming. Now, of course, it won't come to Philadelphia, but it was going where she was going, so that's the reason they said she had to go. So she wanted me to send her thanks again and her appreciation for Peace Islands Institute and the award she received tonight. All right, so our fourth award is to Rabbi David Straus, and the person who will be speaking on his behalf is Monsignor Gregory Fairbanks, Dean of the School of Diaconal Formation, St. Charles Barriomos Seminary. Close. I got that within 5 or 6 words.
Well, good evening, everyone. It's a joy to be here this evening with Peace Islands Institute, and it's a particular joy that we have 2 Latin words, as a Catholic at least, to get it started here, Nostra Aetate. Nostra Aetate, by the way, very good pronunciation over there, YouTube did well, is in the Catholic Church, our official documents are written in Latin still, and traditionally the title of the document is the first 2 words, 2, sometimes 3 words of a new document. At Vatican II, which was an ecumenical council that took place between 1962 and 1965, it was a rather extraordinary council. First off, ecumenical councils don't happen that often. In the nearly 2,000-year history of the Catholic Church, there's only been 21 ecumenical councils, and the last one was some 60 years ago. This council, a worldwide meeting of all the Catholic bishops throughout the world, had been called by Pope John XXIII to revitalize and renew the Church's faith and mission in the 20th century. During this important meeting, the Catholic Church's relations with other Christian churches, denominations, and with other faith traditions were addressed. Nostra Aetate formalized an expanded attitude of dialogue and respect towards the major non-Christian religions of the world, including Judaism, Islam, Hindus, and Buddhism. Since its promulgation on October 25th, 1965, Nostra Aetate has evolved in our times to find relations between the various religions and cultures, and really to recognize that religion is kind of at the axial point of current events. The immediate past prior Pope, Pope Benedict XVI, called Nostra Aetate the Magna Carta of interreligious dialogue. While it is true that this document is an internal document of the Catholic Church, it was addressed to all humanity and challenged both Catholics and everyone else to prayerfully evaluate what is at times the seemingly competing values of being true and firm in your own faith, whatever that faith tradition is, and with those who have other faith traditions. The difficult balance of my own firm belief in the Catholic faith, yet it calls me to recognize that the faith of others in their religions are indeed equally valid. It is not that every religion is the same, but that I respect the faith that every different person holds. Nostra Aetate phrased it in part with this quote. Yes, it was in Latin, but I'll stick with English. The Church, therefore, exhorts her sons and daughters that through dialogue and collaboration with the followers of other religions, carried out with prudence and love and in witness to the Christian faith and life, that they recognize, preserve, and promote the good things, spiritual and moral, as well as the socio-cultural values found among these men and women. The work of dialogue and collaboration is also, as we know, at the heart of the work of Peace Islands Institute. Among the honorees this evening is a man who has striven to do this from his own faith tradition, as we are all called to do in Nostra Aetate. Rabbi David Straus is a Rabbi Emeritus of Mainline Reformed Temple in Wynwood. During his 24 years as the chief rabbi of that community, he encouraged members to expand their Jewish practice while remaining good and faithful Jews into the community through social justice initiatives and interfaith partnerships. He's a past president of VAD, the Philadelphia Board of Rabbis, and he served as chair of the Community Relations Committee of the Jewish Community Relations Council. He is currently one of the co-conveners of the Religious Leaders Council at Greater Philadelphia. He's the chair of the National Council of Synagogues, which meets regularly with members of the American Catholic Church, the National Council of Churches, and evangelical communities. Through Interfaith Philadelphia and other organizations, he's involved in so many, he's in regular dialogue and relationships with people of many faith traditions. And I think most importantly, it is that he is a respected and trusted colleague and partner that has gained the trust of those whom he works with. It's a great privilege, therefore, to introduce Rabbi David Straus, a true public hero in finding common ground and understanding.
I'm both honored and humbled by your words, and you're honoring me here tonight. Thank you to my colleague and my friend Saeed, the Executive Director of Peace Islands here in Philadelphia, to the Peace Islands community, to my fellow honorees, my colleagues and friends, and to all of you for joining us tonight. For many of us, these are frightening times to live in. As a child of Jewish German refugee parents who fled the Nazis in 1939 following Kristallnacht, my mother now frequently shares with me how challenging these times are for her personally. And my mother, who is a very strong 93-year-old German Jewish woman who lives her life with that uniquely German optimism, talks in ways that she's never voiced before. Our fellow citizens and neighbors of faith and of no faith are often spoken of in horrible words and tropes. We're living through times of rising anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, anti-immigrant, anti-refugee, anti-LGBTQ+, and the list goes on and on. Who could have imagined that just a few years ago, that virtually every synagogue and Jewish institution in the United States now has its doors locked and guards outside its buildings to help those who seek to enter our doors feel safe. That's why it's so wonderful for me to be with all of you tonight and to be honored by Peace Islands, who stand for and work for a different vision of America and of our community, seeking to build bridges between peoples and communities, to further understanding, to find commonalities through dialogue and travel, to create a better tomorrow among people who otherwise might never come to know one another, to work with colleagues who see diversity not as something to be afraid of, but as something that genuinely enriches our lives and better informs us how to travel through this journey that we call life. Now, this is not easy work to do. If it were, we would all have finished years ago. But it is truly, I believe, sacred work, and more critical now than ever. Permit me to end by sharing a very brief word of Torah from my tradition. In this week's reading from the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, our sacred scripture, something happens in the Hebrew Bible for the first time. When she brings her 4th child into the world, our matriarch Leah says, "I'm going to name him Yehudah, Judah, meaning I will praise the eternal." Rabbi Yochanan in the Talmud tells us that no one since the creation of the world had offered gratitude to God until Leah, who somehow finds in her heart to offer thanks and gifts and blessings that she has received. Now, she no longer waits for the world to be good. She accepts the disappointments of the world, even as she embraces the holiness in it. Yes, our world can be painful and disappointing, to be sure, but retreating from the tasks before us into fantasies or praying that people will somehow be different will not repair the brokenness of the world. Nor should we merely curse the world as irreconcilably wicked, incapable of beauty, of love, or justice. Rather, as Leah teaches us, and as the work of Peace Island teaches us and invites us all to do, we must bless what is good, offering our gratitude for the holiness in our lives and in each other, so that we may see to our work to repair the world with that much more love and compassion, and together building those bridges to a better future. Now, in a sense, only in America could this happen. A priest introduces the rabbi, and now the rabbi gets to introduce the imam. I have the honor of introducing my friend and colleague and our next honoree, Imam Quaiser Abdullah. I've known and worked with Quaiser for many years on many projects, and I've learned much from him. Most recently, Quaiser has served as the board chair of Interfaith Philadelphia, on whose board I'm blessed to serve, and whose tagline and mission is "Dare to Understand." Quaiser lives these words, "Dare to Understand," each and every day of his life. Imam Abdullah brings a wealth of experience and deep commitment to community engagement, and currently serves as the first director of the Office of Muslim Engagement for the City of Philadelphia under Mayor Parker. With a background in communication, with that wonderful Jamaican accent, a background also in conflict management and organizational and leadership development, through his role as an assistant professor at Temple University and his leadership within various Muslim organizations, including previously serving as one of the resident imams at Masjid Quba, the Quba Institute of Philadelphia. Imam Quaiser is dedicated to fostering meaningful connections between the city's diverse Muslim communities and local government and the multi-faith community. I'm honored and delighted to welcome to the dais Imam Quaiser Abdullah.
Good evening, everyone. It was planned that because we're getting late in the day, we're just going to wrap everything up together at the same time. So let's consider this a very intentional planning of the evening. Fair enough? Awesome. It is a tremendous honor to stand here tonight as a recipient of the Public Heroes Award. And I want to begin by expressing my deepest gratitude to Peace Islands Institute. Your commitment to fostering peace, dialogue, and understanding among diverse communities has been a guiding light for so many of us striving to make a difference. Said, you are doing the work in the way that the work must be done. So thank you very much for what you do. Attorney General Henry, who we understood had to depart, Executive Director Sarun Chan, Inspector Jarreau Thomas, Rabbi David, standing with you is nothing short of an honor and a privilege. They say that not all heroes wear capes, but I think they would look really awesome in capes, don't you think? So sorry, next year, capes, right? Capes, next year. I have many colleagues and friends who keep me focused and grounded and accountable in the work that we do. I'm gonna call your name. Kia, Randy, Rob, Marwan, Monsignor, Bishop Speaks, where are you? There you are. Oh, you're recording me, okay. Bishop Speaks, Shukri, Ebony, our law enforcement partners, Kate, Nicole, Tanya, and so many others. And you know, once you start mentioning names, you get into trouble. So if I didn't call your name, charge it to my mind and not my heart. Really thank you, because you exemplify that finding common ground requires consistent, persistent, and resilient effort. So thank you very much for all the work that you do. A few moments ago, as we were walking towards dinner, Ebony, where are you? Ebony, she was speaking to Bishop Speaks and I, and Ebony reminded us to find places that help you sustain your light. It also reminded me that we, the ones who are honored tonight, we are also called to be the light that helps others sustain their own light. My fellow honorees, what I ask is that we remember that this is what we do. We either bring light, we share the light, or we help others find their own light, or as Sarun said, help others find their voice. This is critical in finding common ground and understanding, which exemplifies what we are here for tonight. This evening's theme, Nashratate, finding common ground and understanding, resonates deeply with me, not just in my role as the Director of Muslim Engagement for the City of Philadelphia, but also as someone who believes that the path to peace begins with truly seeing and hearing one another. This message that requires us to break down walls of division and find unity in our shared humanity feels more urgent than ever in today's world. I will not repeat all of the things that have already been shared here tonight as to why this is urgent and necessary. What I do know is that when Mayor Parker decided to implement this office, it was with the goal of helping our communities to find common ground and to amplifying those voices. Now, I'm not too sure about the choice she made for the director of the office, but I know the intention behind the office needs to be commended. In my work, I've had the privilege of witnessing the beauty of Philadelphia's diversity every day. I see that in the communities that gather in all of these interfaith spaces, all of these diverse spaces, all of these divergent spaces, all of the spaces that we gather in, I see the work that is being done to help us continue to foster the relationships that are needed to get us to where we would like to be. Because as we all know, all of this work is relational. The strategies, the insights, all of this is cool and good. And for those of us who like structure, it feels good, but we know that it's relational. And we know that relationships are messy. And this is where the struggle sits. I have a few more paragraphs, but I know it's after 8:30, so I'm just going to scroll down here. I have a paragraph here about all the honorees and your work exemplifies these values. And so just imagine I said all of the good things I should be saying in those next 30 seconds as well. The Peace Islands Institute, thank you for being a champion of this practice, for bringing people together across divides, and for modeling what it's like to live the principles of Nashra Tate. I also want to acknowledge the incredible support I've received from my family. They won't come up on the stage is not big enough. Friends and colleagues, as well as the many communities that have welcomed me into their spaces and trusted me with their stories. Because as honorees, we are also keepers of the stories of the communities that we serve. So I thank you for entrusting me with those stories. You have taught me that finding common ground isn't always easy. It requires vulnerability, courage, and above all, a willingness to listen. As we celebrate tonight, let us also recommit ourselves to this work. Let us honor the legacy, as Monsignor mentioned, of Nashra Tate, by continuing to seek understanding, by holding bold to building bridges, and by leading with the kind of love and empathy that transcends all differences and boundaries. I end with some other Latin words. I figure, why not? I end with some other Latin words that form the motto of my own high school. Humani nihil alienam. Nothing concerning humanity is foreign to me. May we embody this in all the ways needed so that we can build those bridges through the knowledge of the Creator, knowledge of the self, knowledge of others, so that we may continue to build the world, repair the world, and fulfill the needs of our neighbors near and far. Thank you.
So, since we're really going by the, seat of our pants, why don't we do this? If you're talking about on common ground and understanding, why don't we have the three of you standing there? Come on, guys. And then what we're going to do is, for the first time ever in Peace Island's history, you can say and tell your grandchildren you saw it here for the first time. The brothers are going to get the award from Peace Islands for the first time together. No, it's okay.
Rob was right. It is happy.
There you go.
Yes, please say.
Look up. Look up. So this was on common ground. This was on a common podium. And I thank everybody here. I know that we're getting late, but I would just say on behalf of Peace Island, well, first of all, I want to thank Peace Islands for doing this. And we should give one last applause to Peace Islands. But I think the reality is that the rabbi spoke and told the reality of what we are facing today, all of us. But I think the folks at Peace Island have invited us for a call to action to come together. And I know that we all are busy. Every one of us is busy. But let's figure out, and I'm going to have Syed do all the work, to figure out how is it we can come together. Because together we can find more common ground and understanding, and together we can really make the difference that we need to be. So I thank you all for attending. You were a great audience. Thank you for coming and seeing the awards of these amazing people. And what I will ask as a final thing, can I ask the award winners, the people who have received the awards, to come up so we can have a photograph of all of you together, and then we will have various other photographs afterwards. But if you can come up right now, and then while they're coming up, maybe a final applause